they can get away with charging one person because it's $20 and hopefully my friends pay me back.
Yeah.
Right?
Which they never.
which they never do. Exactly.
Y'all owe me so much money.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Get Corey's money now.
We came from very different backgrounds.
Be classy, be genuine, be grateful.
I wanted to help out and contribute and sort of give back to the people that had helped me.
Man, welcome to the intro. No need for introductions. All about the world and the world what we discussing. Where every single thought that we had came from something. So it's funny that we made it when we started here with nothing. Gotta open up your mind just to find out why. When you lost inside the dark, just gotta turn on the light. And no matter what you do, you never run from a fight. Because we fighting to be better and that's why we strive.
Hi, I'm Corey McCain, CEO of We Strive, the #1 platform for personal trainers, gym owners, and coaches to both manage and scale their business. I'm your host for Why We Strive, where every Tuesday I sit down with some of the most incredible tech founders, investors, and creatives to find out how, when, where, and why they strive. Be sure you tune in every single Tuesday and check us out at whywestrive.com for more info. Now, let's get to this week's episode. All right, dude. Actually, how do you pronounce your last name?
Iommi.
Iommi. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I could. It's always I'm like, is that an L or an I? And
Exactly. I've had my own legal team sometimes on some documents.
Really?
Early on, put an L. I'm like, guys.
Dang. Okay, so Iommi.
Iommi. Yeah,
Okay.
it's Italian.
Cool. Okay. So we have Matthew Iommi here, the CEO of Fetii. And if you don't live in Austin, you might not know what Fetii is, but you're gonna know soon because we're gonna get to your expansion plans, but you guys have taken over Fetii by storm. I'm gonna give Austin by storm. I'm gonna give myself 1% credit for promoting it, but I mean, you guys have been killing it. Can you tell everyone what Fetii is about, and then we'll go to your background after that?
Yeah, definitely. So Fetii is a group rideshare platform, and essentially what we do is we transport groups and businesses together and on demand.
Okay.
So right now, groups of 6 or more have essentially 2 options without Fetii. The first option is to reserve a charter vehicle days or weeks in advance, pay a 5-hour minimum for a 10 to 15 minute trip, and have no payment flexibility. Deposits, one person has to pay the upfront. It's just an outdated charter model, right? The other option that these groups have is to split up the group and take multiple vehicles, whether it be their personal or other rideshare. And what that does is it creates an inferior transportation experience because you're not with your friends, as well as adds to congestion, adds to emissions, and adds to cost.
Exactly.
Right? So kind of what we've done is we've created a platform that kind of combines the efficiencies of high capacity vehicles with the efficiencies of rideshare technology to create kind of this first group rideshare platform.
Very cool. I mean, that's more complicated than how I would have worded it, but that's definitely what you guys do. I mean, it's like you got rid of the need to, if you have 15 people, it's like you're no longer getting 7 people in one Uber on each other's laps illegally and then getting like 3 in the other, and you're crammed and you're uncomfortable, and now you're just like, oh cool, let's just call it Fetii. And I've done this like 12 times, so I can attest to how convenient the Fetii is. And I'll start with my first story. I was just bringing this up earlier. Okay. So the first experience with Fetii, I met Justin, your co-founder. He's COO, right? CTO. Yeah, gotcha. Okay. I met Justin, and I met him like a week before, and then it was my friend Maria's birthday, and it was like a Wednesday, and her birthday was Saturday. And then Thursday, the bus we were supposed to use got in a crash, so we couldn't use it.
Not a Fetii, it was a different...
This is nothing, not Fetii.
Okay.
Fetii hasn't entered the picture yet.
Okay,
Yeah. So the bus, like a full-ass bus we were going to use, crashed. And I was just like...
Was it the old outdated model, reserve it days in advance?
Yep,
okay.
exactly, right. Yeah. And it was like a whole-ass like bus rental company or something like that.
Gotcha.
And what happened was we were just like freaking out because there was no buses we could rent. It was like some busy weekend in like April or May, and essentially I called Justin, and I felt like kind of a badass too. And I'm like, I think I know somebody, and I called Justin, and I'm like, yo man, like, can you help us out at all? And sure enough, you know, we paid him like through an invoice instead of the app because we wanted to make sure it was right. I never used the app before.
Yeah.
So we booked 3 Fetis in advance, and sure enough, like. I got all the numbers of the drivers, and we come downstairs as a group of like 42 of us, and just 3 black vans roll up at the same time. And I was just like, I felt like a baller, dude. I was like, I did this shit. And it was cool to have that experience.
Yeah.
And the second point, because I think to kind of get your guys' timeline going, So that was in like April or May, and no one really knew about Fetii at that point. It was kind of being used, and then
May of 2022.
This year, yeah.
Gotcha,
So like it was people knew Fetii, but like the growth has been exponential to where in August.
And I'll tell you what, prior to that time, most of the people who knew us were kind of the younger college students, stuff like that. We hadn't really expanded. Part of our go-to-market strategy is starting with these university hubs.
Might as well.
So around that time, that's when we started. So you're right. That a lot of those kind of younger adults, older adults didn't know about us yet. Yeah,
and I think I don't know when it exploded specifically. I mean, I'm sure you have data points, but the end for this story, I guess, is that I was at a party 3 weeks ago, and there was this girl who wasn't in tech at all. Because I feel like this is a very much tech company, and it's growing in more of like the public, but it started as tech, and she was just like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna call a Fetii," and I was like, "Oh, I know those guys. Nice, that's cool."
Yeah.
And it was cool to see like a regular person in Austin just like not even mention the word Uber and be like, "I'm calling a Fetii."
Definitely, no,
cool.
and it hits me. It hits me too. There was one time where I was at Whataburger,
Yeah.
And I was just sitting down with some friends, and I overheard a group of girls that I presumably went to UT, saying, "Hey, let's get a Fetii," and just kind of just kind of those moments really. Really open your eyes and kind of give you confirmation that whatever you're working on seems to be working.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I've been waiting. I've had low key moments of those with WeStrive, but like it's a lot harder because it's like just trainers and gym owners. So it's like, but I've been waiting to be in the gym and hear a trainer say like, "Hey, get WeStrive. We need to work out together," or something like that. Haven't heard it yet, but that's
coming. It's coming for sure.
That's a dream, man. That's so cool. How did you guys come up with the name for Fetii? Because okay, can I guess? And this was Umar Brima's guess. Is it short for confetti, like a party?
No, it's not.
Oh! Umar, dude, close though. Okay, all right.
Well, before I get into kind of where it came from, what's the beauty of the name Fetii is that everyone asks.
There you go.
Where the name came
Conversation.
from. Right. Yeah. It's better than if we had called it We Move or something, group move or something like that. But Fetii in a South Pacific term means an extension of one's family.
Oh, damn.
And so it's kind of the basis that whenever you're in a Fetii, you're kind of surrounded by your squad, by your group, by the people that you care about, that care about you. The other side to that is we like to say, you're an extension of one's family, and when you're in a Fetii, very rarely, if ever, do you have a frown on your face.
Yeah.
Right, because you're with the group of your friends, colleagues, coworkers, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Going to wherever you need to, and so it's we've really kind of enjoyed making this service that produces a lot of good emotions, good times, good memories.
Okay.
So that's kind of, but we've got a lot where confetti, Fetii Wap, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But that's kind of why I like the name too. It's just
very unique.
A lot of people don't know.
It's like that's some like Fast and Furious shit. His family.
Oh yeah.
Dude. Very cool. Yeah, do you guys? Because I mentioned this a few times in the podcast. We interviewed Rise a few weeks ago, and they are a drone company, and it's spelled RIZSE.
Okay.
And so I had a company before called Perfect, spelled PERFICT, like fit. And so have you guys run into trouble like SEO wise or app wise with having two I's instead of two T's?
No. If anything, it's helped SEO just because it's more unique.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of pushed it that way. Where we have gotten, especially early on, is a lot of people would spell it FETTI.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
So that's been something, but kind of just push. Which I imagine Lyft had the same thing.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, they definitely did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people just kind of get used to it and understand it. And if anything, it can make it stronger because.
Exactly.
It's so unique that it sticks in the mind.
Exactly. It is that like this side's good, this side's bad. It's like it sticks in the mind. You can get SEO. You can like dibs it on SEO, but the SEO is harder because like it's a misspelled word.
Right.
So it's like it's got definitely pros and cons for sure.
Definitely.
In the long run, pros for sure. So we know that. Wait, I'm just gonna delete this. This is it's a long ass question. I went to go start. I'm like, how long is this question? She knew or find out. Okay, there we go. Cool. Okay, I was like, what does this fucking question mean? So early on, like, because this is where I came from too. So like, we have competitors called like Trainer Eyes and True Coach and shit like that. And like for like a year, they probably didn't know who we were, and I know they know who we are now because like I can see our users leaving their platform and then reporting to them that they left their platform for WeStrive. So do you? I mean, there's no way it's not, but like. When was the point where you realized that Uber and Lyft probably know who you are now? Or have you not hit that point, do you think?
I think so. For example, the first market we ever launched in was in College Station, home of Texas A&M, where I went to school.
Wait, how long ago was that?
That was end of 2019, beginning of 2020.
Wait, you guys have been around, or did you like, as you tell me?
Yeah. So,
yeah.
well, I'll tell you, remind me to come back to this point,
Okay,
but I'll tell you quick the origin story.
Okay.
So I was a senior at Texas A&M University. I had 3 classes left to complete my degree.
Okay.
Senior year, kind of at that point, it's a pretty relaxed year for most people. And I figured that, since I've got this free time, let's start a side business, build something that has good cash flow, and kind of whenever I go, because I was at that point I was planning to go into investment banking.
Nice.
And so I said, okay. There was these 2 students who were selling a shuttle bus, and they had started. It was about a year old, and they had started a small little student transportation company. Old, outdated charter model, everything of that sort. And I saw that they weren't automating anything. They were still driving it themselves. They hadn't digitalized anything, no payment system, anything of that sort. So I called my friend Justin, who's my co-founder and CTO, and I told him, look, there's this interesting small little business that these 2 kids are selling. Are you interested to go in it with me? And we'll grow it up, automate it, kind of have it generating cash. So we made the decision to buy it from them. Purchased it, and from there we grew it, kind of made a website, booking system, automated everything, to the point where once it was grown, we really were now in the industry of group transportation. And that's kind of when our minds started rolling. Okay, how do we scale this, right? How do we make the user experience more pleasurable? How do we make the business model more desirable, right, and more efficient? And from there, it kind of grew into what eventually became Fetii. We created an app, created on-demand capabilities, created a PSP model, which, for anyone who doesn't know, Fetii doesn't own any of its vehicles. What we do is we have...
Good to know. Okay, good fact. I didn't know that.
This business is a combination of conventional rideshare with scooter mobility, with Amazon delivery models. So, for example, with conventional rideshare, we have an on-demand app that allows users to book these vehicles on demand or pre-scheduled. In terms of how you check in, you pay using a QR code similar to Limes and Birds on those scooters. And our supply model is similar to Amazon's DSP, Delivery Service Partner model, in which we have Fetii PSPs, Passenger Service Providers.
Okay.
And these are entities that own these fleet of vehicles and rent them out to independent contractors, similar to the Uber Hertz deal, who then utilize our vehicles to service our users.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we've created a very light business, and all of these different things stemmed from problems that we encountered running this group transportation company. So, for example, with the rideshare aspect, we found that users didn't want to pay 5-6 hours hourly minimum, $150, $200 an hour to go from their house or their work to the nightlife, right? Or to the lake, right? Or to a bachelorette party, whatever it may be. They only needed it for 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that right there was a big obstacle that we wanted to take away. So we created kind of this rideshare aspect to group transportation that kind of resolved that. And of course, iterations are still coming, improvements are coming.
Yeah.
On the other side, the check-in system, we found that groups, because they're so large, and that's kind of an attractive thing about our business, is the unit economics are so attractive because one trip generates 3-4 times the revenue of one Uber trip because we can fit more people in. Right, and that's why we recently are now profitable.
Right.
Yeah. So we've kind of taken the profitable aspect of rideshare and made it our business with these large groups. But one pain point that we found is at the beginning of things, we said, okay, we'll make the user pay for everything up front, the booker, just like how it is in conventional charter transportation. And we found that while with Uber and Lyft, they can get away with charging one person because it's $20 and hopefully my friends pay me back.
Yeah.
Right?
Which they never.
which they never do. Exactly.
Y'all owe me so much money.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now.
Get Corey's money
Yeah.
now. And with Fetii, it's even more exaggerated because now all of a sudden you've got $200, $300 trips. And for one person to upfront pay that, it creates the accessibility for that service. It reduces that a lot.
Exactly.
So what we implemented was a QR check-in system that users, whenever they come in onto the vehicle, they'll scan a QR code that seamlessly splits the payment amongst the group. So now instead of one person paying $200, $300, right? Each person now only has to pay $5 for themselves.
Yeah.
Similar to how they would do with a scooter. And so we really found that solution made it more accessible to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And didn't reserve this service just for special events. And then on the other side, the supply model, right? When we first started, we owned the vehicles.
Yeah.
Right? And we had to deal with maintenance.
I was going to say, you're not a car rental company.
Exactly. And that kind of, that was taken away our focus from building this platform as efficiently and to the best quality as we could, having to deal with both sides of things. So we had to figure out a way to kind of distribute that to other parties and kind of automate it. And so that's where the PSP model comes in, where now these entities can essentially create cash flow businesses by themselves using our platform.
Very cool.
And so kind of all these things that have come together to be what Fetii is now. It's not like we woke up one day and said, okay, this is how it's going to work.
Yeah.
Right. We started in the group transportation industry where it was outdated, and we just kind of used our innovative intuition and our, frankly, I don't know if we would have been able to do this if we were 55, 60 years old, right? Because we kind of had that fresh look on things of how things are being done and how they should be done. And so we kind of incorporated that mindset into all these different obstacles and issues that we were using that eventually came to this kind of efficient group rideshare solution.
Very cool.
Now, with that being said, you asked, when do you think Uber noticed? When we first launched in College Station, I'd probably say about a year in, because it's such a college town, right? Texas A&M University is essentially the whole ecosystem of College Station, hence the name College Station, right?
Yeah.
We've serviced and we've taken care of so many A&M students. We've essentially kind of taken over that city, where I'm fairly confident that territory manager for Uber or Lyft,
noticed
that dip in gross bookings.
Gotcha.
So that's when I think they first noticed. Now when it comes to Austin is so much bigger.
Yeah.
Right. And like you said, we're still new to Austin, so I think we put a little dent, but I think it's going to take some time for them to really notice. They recently came out with a feature called Uber Charter.
Okay.
And essentially what they've done is they've recognized that the group transportation industry is significant, and there's a desire to become the leader and name brand in group transportation. The only thing is that what we've created is significantly different than current rideshare models and difficult. It's a natural moat around the type of business that we've created. So what Uber Charter was forced to do to kind of get into this industry is they're essentially a broker. So you can go into the Uber app, you put in your information, and they'll connect you to a charter transportation company.
Oh, so they're literally not even doing it.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not on demand. They'll reach out. You'll hear back in a few days. It's on an hourly basis. If you want to go from point A to point B.
That's honestly like kind of tacky. I feel like
I know.
Because Uber is such an on-demand. I feel like that's like just like a gross thing for them to put into their bit. Like, why would you even add that?
There's a couple. A lot of people are saying Dara did it just to boost the stock prices and and make the appearance that things are being done.
Yeah.
But look, I don't blame them. Uber's a big company. They've got a lot of issues they're dealing with at the moment. And for them to kind of start this whole other business and model makes it difficult for them.
Yeah,
right.
For
It's
sure.
the same reason why Venmo is a vertical of PayPal, right? If PayPal wanted to, they could have kind of figured it out, but they can't have all that focus, all those resources dedicated to that. Same reason why Robinhood is a vertical of TD Ameritrade, right? It's kind of creating these products that are specific towards a certain niche, and that's kind of how those verticalizations happen.
Very cool. Well, I'll say this: I would have never gone where you guys went, but when I was in college, I drove a party bus for my buddy 3 times because he owned it. I didn't have any money, or else I would have bought my own. But I wanted to buy a party bus and do it for my, because I had a college town too. It's like Eastern Washington University. There's like 12,000 people when the students are there, and there's like 1,000 when the students aren't. Like it's literally college town. So I want. It's funny you guys did that. And then the second thing was. Oh, dude, I just totally forgot my question. And this is what happens when you host a happy hour and then the next day you do a podcast. Totally spaced. But
it was a great happy hour, by the way.
I appreciate it, man. But no, that's incredible, dude. I didn't know that you guys. That was my question. What did you guys do during COVID? Was it kind of like a pause for you, or what?
Look, I mean, in any startup, you have those highs and lows.
Mm-hmm.
And being in group transportation during COVID was obviously a low.
Well, are you big enough for governments to be like, hey, what's this Fetii thing doing? Or like, what is that?
No, but when COVID happened, we were only in College Station. So when schools didn't, that's, I mean, damn near 80-90% of our user base that kind of just stuck at home and then evaporated. So yeah, definitely we were trying to figure out what was going on. And I think it proves to the resilience of our team. We have a killer team, and kind of, we were able to come out of it. And what's really cool is the way we were able to come out of it is we got a significant contract with the Texas A&M University system. So this is the system in which they're above the 11 Texas A&M institutions.
Gotcha. Okay.
And what we did is we created a side product called EDU Scan, Fetii Scan.
Okay.
And what this product was, it incorporated our QR code scanning technology and allowed these institutions to put up QR codes on their doors, on their vehicles, on their whatever, on their laboratories, whatever it may be. And users, kids, whenever school started, they had to scan into this QR code whenever they entered a classroom or entered any building. So that if one person tested positive for COVID, they could go into the back end, see all the people who were checked into that room, and notify them, say, okay, these are the people who may have been in contact with the COVID person. They need to go get tested.
Interesting.
And so that's kind of how we were able to come out of that.
Interesting. Was that just with College Station, or who did you guys work with?
Yes, I mean we worked with the system. So it was with Texas A&M and College Station, in Corpus Christi, in essentially all of them, Galveston, and so that contract. But I mean, it's just the ingenuity, right? To not say, okay, I give up. Let me go find a job. We have to let the team go. It's no matter what, figuring out a way, because in any successful startup story, business story, there's going to be those lows that are really significant. So I mean, to kind of be in this game, you have to have a really high tolerance and believe that no matter what, there's a way out.
So cool, dude. Usually those stories go along with like, you're doing this and then you pivot and then this thing goes like this. It's cool that you guys were able to pivot and then go back to the original thing.
Right.
And I'm sure like in those 2 years, some things of your scanning model improved through the technology that you're able to put into Fetii.
Yeah. And that was a really important thing that I wanted to tell the team, and I wanted to tell our shareholders that, look, this is something for us to survive.
Yeah.
Right? This isn't the business that we believe in.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right? And it would have been very easy to say, okay, let's forget about this transportation thing and let's focus and go in on this COVID thing, because at the time, you would have thought anything related to COVID was the future.
Yeah, for sure.
And you find out that really it was what, a 2-year span, right? 2-3 year span.
Yeah.
And so, we had a lot of investors pushing us, saying, hey, we really like this product. I think you should go, devote all your resources to it, do it all your time. And I really made the firm stance in saying, no, this is a temporary solution. Right now, group transportation, the second largest household expenditure. It's a big problem. It's a big market. This is how we can solve this issue. This is what this company is about. And so it was really important. And you bring up a good point that it could have been very easy for us to
just chill there. Yeah, for sure. Very cool.
Exactly.
And with the process that you were mentioning, when it comes to scanning, so how does that work? I mean, I've done it physically, but I can't remember because I was drinking each time. So, so let's say there's 10 of us, right? And I go up and I scan it first. Let's say the ride's $100. There's 10 of us, $100, makes it simple. So, technically I would be charged $100. The next person scans it. Is it now 50-50?
No. So what it'll do is everyone will check in. Once everyone's checked in, the driver will process the payment. Now that algorithm will determine what the price per person should be based on the amount of people that are checked in.
Gotcha.
Right? So it's not a pre-check-in thing, it's a post-check-in thing.
Gotcha, okay.
So that kind of makes it a lot easier so that we don't have to say, okay, if you're going to book a Fetii, we need to know right now how many people are coming, right? Because a lot of people don't. If they're with a group, maybe it's 6, maybe it's 7, maybe it's 5. So we kind of have that flexibility, which is a big part of it. So yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Very cool. And do you see like Uber or Lyft like offering you guys an acquisition at some point?
Look, I mean, Uber Charter is already with Uber Charter. They've already made the notion that they want to get into this industry, so it's assumed that they would want to make an offer. Whether it's Uber or Lyft making an offer, or whether it's Uber or Lyft trying to start their own type of group rideshare aspect, and then the other making an acquisition to kind of get in the game.
So that's what you really want,
right?
That's where you get really good.
Or it's a third party where someone who's not in the rideshare space wants to get their feet wet. And
so someone like Lime that just does whatever they
like Lime, or a big one. A big one is Ford.
Oh, gotcha.
Ford is one. They try to do their.
What kind of vans do you guys use?
15-passenger Ford Transit van.
Hey, oh, dude.
Exactly.
Hey, if you work at Ford, start spreading the word.
Yeah. But yeah, Ford's a good one. There was an acquisition they made a few years back called Chariot.
Okay.
And Chariot was actually a Y Combinator company. They purchased them right after YC for about $65 million.
Okay.
They were very early on in San Francisco. And what they did is they utilized these 15-passenger transit vans, but for employee commuting. So not on demand, not for consumer really focused. It was mostly for people commuting. And they were purchased by Ford, and what Ford realized shortly after, and it's shut down in 2019, is that there's not enough utilizations throughout the day, throughout the week for just employees commuting, because you've got this 2-hour span in the morning, 2-hour span in the evening where all the vehicles are being utilized, and then they're just sitting idle.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So kind of what we've done is we've kind of come through the back end and built this foundation of on-demand group transportation and complemented it with corporate B2B employee shuttling, whether it's shuttling, commuting, or off-site corporate events.
Yeah, it makes way more sense. I mean, like basically them buying that business, it's like you can only do it these hours, and you can only do it in major cities. Yeah, and that's your whole entire
and getting those deals with companies.
Yeah, and that bullshit
takes time.
No offense to those guys. What a not a good business model to invest in, anyways. For that valuation.
Yeah.
Would you want to have an exit, or do you want to see this become like a worldwide phenomenon? Like, where's your stance at?
Look, I have a vision that Fetii vehicles will be the main mode of transportation in every urban city, right? It starts with group transportation, group travel, with special events or just night out with friends, and it also plays in with employee transportation, whether it be off-site corporate events, commuting for employers or whatnot, which can also go into kind of a van pool option where people can be grouped up together, going to like place destinations. So what I see for Fetii is not just taking care of group transportation, which it is right now, but in the future taking care of almost all transportation. Yeah. So to answer that question is, it's going to be whatever I think is best to achieve that vision. Right? If I think not having that exit, going public, staying private, whatever it may be, it's going to be towards achieving that vision, which I believe our team can do. And with those questions, as well, it's kind of tell me what's going to happen in 2, 5, 10 years.
Exactly. Yeah.
You never know.
Exactly.
You never know. So any answer I give you is
all bullshit.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit.
You never know, and so that's kind of how I answer those.
Gotcha. And then do you guys see yourselves going up or down capacity wise? Like, do you see yourself having buses? Do you see or vice versa? Do you see yourself having like a car, like an Uber?
It's a good question. And right now, with these 15-passenger transit vans, they're so ubiquitous because they can handle groups as little as 6 to as high as 14, right, 15. And one of the main things that we're trying to do is remove congestion and unnecessary vehicles off of the road. Now, if we need to create kind of an option that kind of grabs that last 5-10% by using sedans, we may, but the primary focus is group transportation, right? 97 hours on average for each American is wasted per year in traffic. 97 hours of your life. That's staring at red lights in front of you, not moving. That could have been spent with coworkers building something. Could have been spent on building
on family.
Right, on family. On WeStrive.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Right? With friends, with your children, whatever it may be. And that problem of congestion is only getting worse.
Yeah.
Right? People like to say, oh, California has horrible traffic. It's not just California. It's coming to every urban city.
We're seeing it in Austin, man. It's getting. When I first moved here a year and a half ago, I was like, "This isn't that bad." Now I'm like, "Dude, Jesus Christ!"
I know, I know, and you know, a lot of these vehicles have one person in them.
Yeah.
Right. It's the amount of space that is wasted is unbelievable. Right. And kind of what I like to say to people whenever we're in the office, I say, look down, and a lot of people like to complain, oh, these scooters are littering the cities, the sidewalks, right? Have you heard that before?
Oh, of course. Well, I lived in Venice when Lyman's Bird came out.
Yeah.
So like they're getting kicked over and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I look down and I say, look, that's a fine argument, but look on the sidewalk, all these cars that are parked there 8 hours a day, not being utilized at all.
Yeah.
And you're not going to tell me that's not
It's
littering
20
the
times
as
the
well?
size of a scooter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so kind of in our vision of Fetii, we see us removing those vehicles and saying, look, you're not utilizing them. Why add depreciation on that vehicle? Why pay for these gas prices? Right? Why sit in traffic not being able to work or do anything else? Even just text. We can take care of that. We can remove these. We can make cities more accessible for all and just improve quality of life. And so that's kind of what the main goal of Fetii is to eventually achieve.
Very cool. And I want to touch on hiring now. So a few points on that. The first thing is I'm going to pull my phone out and pull up my contacts. So you guys have, I have Francisco, Hector, Ike, Othmane, and Renee on here. Hector has picked me up 3 times in a Fetii. I've met Othmane, I think, twice, and I think Francisco twice. So they clearly have stuck around. So how do you guys handle the hiring process? How do you handle like staffing, and how do you handle like training? Like what is that process like for you guys, for the drivers specifically?
Yeah, so our drivers, they're independent contractors.
Okay.
This is essentially their business, right? They rent this vehicle from a PSP, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
And they keep it at their house. They take care of maintenance.
Oh, it's their vehicle.
Exactly,
Gotcha.
exactly. It's like whenever if you're a rideshare driver and you want to go through through Hertz.
Gotcha.
Right, you can rent this vehicle, but it's your business. And so that's the beauty of it. And you say, you brought up a point where they've been around for a while.
Shout out Hector.
And they've been around for a while, for a couple reasons. Obviously, you can't dance around the fact that they're making good money, right? And that's kind of the attractiveness of the unit economics of Fetii, is that our drivers are able to generate a substantial amount of revenue for their business because of the unit economics, because you're able to fit more people into a vehicle, whereas Uber and Lyft drivers, whenever you do the math, significantly lower because you can only take $20 per trip.
Gotcha.
Right, and so whenever you take into account gas, depreciation, Uber or Lyft's take, you're going home with a lot less. Right, not to mention the personal depreciation on your own vehicle. Right, and so that's been a really attractive thing, and we've had low churn on the driver side, fortunately, because frankly they get to drive, they get to make money. It's a better atmosphere when you're dealing with groups. It's less boring. Right? I'm sure you're always talking with the drivers.
Yeah, I'm always in shotgun, just like bullshitting. I'm like, yeah, I was talking to Justin and Matthew. So
and then also it's a lot safer because
you feel you're like in a bigger
you're in a bigger vehicle, but you're also with a group that most of the time holds each other accountable, right? There's not going to be one sketch person in the back of your car who you don't know what's going on with, and that you've got to keep an eye on while you're driving. On the other side of that we haven't touched on, which is really cool about the model, is that each person who checks into the vehicle has the opportunity to tip at the end of the ride.
Oh, very cool. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So versus Uber or Lyft, where only the booker has the opportunity to tip.
Damn, getting hella tips.
Now, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
these drivers have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 people who have the opportunity to tip. If each person only did 50 cents, $1, it adds up.
Wow, that's
right.
good.
And
That's a good point.
so we've made sure, everything from our dispatching system to the tip infrastructure, to kind of, how trips are assigned, everything like that. It's been with the driver in mind, because obviously those are the ones that the drivers are the ones that are kind of the backbone of this company.
I actually follow only because she basically made me, but no, she was hilarious. I follow Queen Fetii on Instagram. She's so funny, dude.
She's great.
It's this lady that like drives for Fetii, and she posts every one she drives. She'll like take a group photo, and then she'll like my post and message me, be like, "Oh my god, this was so funny!" And it's like, dude, it's hilarious.
No, we have a great team. Everyone, it's just a big family. Everyone holds each other accountable. It's just a good atmosphere. It's a good company, and hopefully we just keep growing. And it's on us. They're doing very hard work, and it's on us to make sure that they've got work for them to do, right? To make sure we've got users for them to transport and everything like that. So everyone holds each other accountable.
Very cool. And what's your guys' business model? Like, if you don't want to share the percentages, that's totally fine. But like, are you just making a percentage of like each ride booked, or like overall? I mean, I guess that's the only option.
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, so it's basically like a platform licensing fee where we take a percentage of the revenue on each trip.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. And obviously, like it's enough so that you guys are obviously profitable, but then it's also enough for them that they're like very happy doing their job.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of Justin and I. Whenever we started, we didn't have a lot of money, right? We were coming, shortly after there was COVID, so. Kind of VC funding wasn't very high for group transportation during COVID. So what that did, it forced us to really build a lean company, right? We haven't overhired. In fact, we've made it very difficult to get a job at Fetii. We really look for killers, and we've ensured that we've cost cutted where we need to without sacrificing the integrity of the company and its success. And from that, we've been able to, as you mentioned, create a profitable company, which is very hard to do for rideshare.
Very hard.
Very hard to do.
Or for just startups.
Just start, yeah, exactly. Rideshare in particular, when you see
yeah.
how much Uber and
Oh, I'm
Lyft
sure, yeah.
And so with that being said, this kind of leanness to the company has really made us stronger, right? And has really allowed us to do things that we wouldn't otherwise be able to do, which includes being able to give a lot of the revenue to drivers.
Very cool.
Right, and kind of make sure that they're taken care of, because of course if they're taken care of, then the company can grow.
Exactly. Yeah, I do love that tip model. It's genius. So you guys are currently in College Station and in Austin, right?
College Station, Austin, and Lubbock.
Where's Lubbock? I've heard this 1,000 times.
Lubbock, Texas, North Texas, home of Texas Tech University.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay,
37,000 students over there.
Gotcha.
We started with the college towns. Austin, obviously a big metro area.
Yeah.
And the college towns are just really quick to be profitable in each market.
Oh, yeah. One frat dude is like, yo, what? And then just the whole school knows about it.
Exactly. And so that's kind of been a good kind of aspect to the business. But now, recently we were funded. We got accepted into Y Combinator, and so now we're attacking these bigger markets and kind of making kind of the push into the nation.
So okay, so that's what I was going to ask. Is like, we'll ignore the college towns right now, because I think Austin's like obviously a much bigger market. And it's just like it's a big city, and it's big in tech right now. So what steps are you taking? Because like right now, not only are you in Austin, but like you have this like local feel. Everyone's like, oh, the founders live here. Like, oh, there's Matthew and Justin and everything. And then you have like a good hold on who the drivers are and like all that stuff. So like, how do you keep that, like, how do you basically not turn into Uber where it's just like a shit show and you're not profitable and it's like there's billions of people, like it's like, so how do you maintain the Fetii vibes as you scale? Is it like city by city, or how do you do it?
Yeah, no, it's city by city, but more than just going to each city, it's keeping the culture of how Fetii started and how it is, right? To this day, even though we've gotten funding and I could turn around and spend a whole bunch of money just anywhere where I want to. It's having that that discipline to hold back and really say, okay, we'll use this capital to efficiently go to market with the strategies that have been proven, right? We're not just putting a huge budget in digital advertisement and
Facebook ads.
Yeah, exactly.
We've all done that in our companies early on.
And just seeing what happens. No, it's sticking to the fundamentals of the company and ensuring that we're growing quickly, but also efficiently.
Yeah.
Right? Because one thing with being profitable is that you hold your destiny in your hands now. You're not at the mercy of capital markets.
Yeah.
Right? Ensuring like, okay, I need to take these actions in my company to ensure I can raise more. Even if it may not be the best for your company, you're doing all these different stuff with the mindset of this will attract investors, which will eventually lead to a downfall.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. And so it's making sure that we're growing efficiently. And with that being said, one cool thing about the company is that other than a few months ago when we started implementing new marketing initiatives and strategies, we spent $0 on advertising and marketing, right? Everything, and that $0 led to over 500,000 passengers transported.
Wait, in what time period? Well, since
That's
launch,
since September 2021 is when we hard launched in Austin.
Okay.
So from then, between all three cities,
Damn.
500,000, about 550,000.
And I'm at 12,000 of those.
And so, you know, to get to that place without any advertising and marketing, you have to provide a good service.
Yeah.
And you have to ensure that it's a problem that actually needs solving, which we know it is. And what's really unique about this business that I explain to a lot of people is that whenever you convert one customer with Fetii, you're converting 9, 10, 11, 12 people exactly who are now exposed to the service. Right? And so that week over week exponential growth just allows the product to grow virally, which is a big benefit to us. And like I said, a big reason why we're able to be profitable.
Well, and that's actually my next question that you just softballed up to me. You guys have this free ride thing, which I think is fucking genius because it like, I don't want to say tricks, but it really just gets everyone to like, because before like maybe 4 or 5 of us could have the app and then like we could do the booking and figure it out. But when you offer a free ride, if everyone gets the app, it's like everyone's going to get the app. Yeah.
What we call it, it's a free account upgrade, right? Your account got upgraded, right?
Yeah.
And so what we did whenever we start off in a market is we upgrade kind of these groups, whether it be a fraternity, sorority, organization, a company, right? Influencers, whatever it may be, with a free account upgrade that lets them ride for free. Now here's the part is that it lets them ride for free. If they're riding with someone who doesn't have the account upgrade and they scan in, they still have to pay.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's not like we're giving the whole ride free.
Yeah.
Now what that does with the person who's an influencer or trendsetter, let's say, or a part of this group that tends to go out, whatever it may be, they'll say, okay, I'm with a group of 7. I'm grouped with 10 or 6. Well, I've got this free account upgrade. Let's take this. Let's try it.
Yeah.
Everyone tries it. We didn't lose 100% of the revenue on the trip because it's only free for that person. And now all of a sudden, with that conversion, we've got 14 new customers.
Gotcha. Yeah, that might have been what it was. Yeah. I think what happened was I think like 10 of us in the group had the free upgrade.
Yeah.
And so we got the free ride, and so it ended up maybe it was like 70% or 60% off or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was still cool to see like how that impacted the whole group.
Yeah, which
so cool.
Which is allowed, and that's kind of one of the it's almost similar to kind of Tinder and Bumble's go to market where they would sponsor sororities and fraternities, host parties for them. You'd have to download the app to get into these parties.
Yeah.
It's kind of taking a lot of different things, but the same way how Tinder and Bumble were started by young adults, college students.
Yeah.
I really don't think this service could have been. Well, I don't think this service could have been started by anyone. It's very hard to start. But let alone by an older person who kind of doesn't have that insight of how young adults and groups tend to think.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. And so, for example, a 60-year-old executive would have said, okay, throw all this money, throw millions of dollars into billboards, throw millions of dollars into Google ads and kind of conventional ways where the ROI might not be as high as kind of these efficient strategies, which we needed to come up with because we didn't have the capital.
Exactly.
Right. We had to figure out efficient ways to grow this business because we just didn't have a full.
You don't have $2 million to put on ads.
Exactly. Yeah. Which has allowed us to evolve into this profitable company, efficient, lean company that's in a position to grow. Right.
I love
and
that.
so kind of just everything kind of fell into place.
I love that, man. And when you were in College Station, what was that? when you first decided to get the vans, what was that process like? Like, why are they? I mean, it's great. They're black and they look sleek, and you have the giant logo on the side. What was the process of picking a black van? Why 15? Like, what was that process?
Well, in College Station, when we first started, we had, because we were putting all our own money in it. We were going across the country buying whatever we could.
Oh, you're just buying vans on like Craigslist, stuff like that?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
exactly. And it wouldn't even be these nice vans that we have now. It
Right.
would be kind of these 30 passenger shuttles,
Nice.
like airport shuttles.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
So I remember I was traveling to Houston because some dealer had one,
Nice.
or had a 15 passenger low roof van.
Oh, nice.
Going to wherever I could to find one and put in these deals, these financing deals to add to our supply so that we could grow demand and grow the business. And
So cool.
And so, at that time we were finding anything we can. Now fast forward to Austin and it's kind of everything's more mature. The black looks sleek.
It looks really sleek.
But we've got some gray vehicles in the fleet. We've got some white vehicles in the fleet. So we don't discriminate in terms of that. We just make sure obviously
discriminate.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, dude. I think I'm just gonna be blunt. Like, I feel like the black van is kind of a staple of yours.
Yeah.
I feel like if I saw a white Fetii van, I
Have you
might
not
be
seen
confused.
a white one yet?
I might have seen a gray one. I've never seen a white one.
Okay.
But like when I see I'm telling you, when I see I don't care what color it is. If I see a black one, it's a Fetii van in my mind. Like, so I'm just letting you know from like a user perspective.
Yeah.
Like because we saw black vans going, someone's like, "Oh, it's a Fetii van," and they drove by. That's from outside looking in.
Yeah.
I feel like it has to be black.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I'm just saying. Well, that's cool though. So what is a day to day like for you as a CEO? Like, are you just, or actually, how about this question? Do you ever book a Fetii for yourself and just like, maybe you don't know the driver personally and see what the experience is like?
Definitely.
Like a undercover boss.
Like a secret shopper.
Yeah.
We've done that, and just make sure that the quality. I mean, it's important for whatever company you're in to keep on trying the service and find iterations. And so there's been plenty of times where I'll see something wrong, and then we'll communicate to the driver, hey, whenever you're checking people in, follow this process.
Yeah.
We had someone report that you didn't do this or this, and kind of just for training purposes, kind of make it more efficient. But yeah, we have done that, and I think it's a great way to improve things.
Absolutely. So what does it day to day look like for you, like just as a CEO for a Fetii?
Yeah, I mean, look, we're in a startup, so no day's the same, which I enjoy.
Which is beautiful.
I enjoy.
Dude, every day is different for me, and I'm like, I would hate if every day I had to do the same shit.
Yeah. I mean, some days there's fires that need to be put out. Other days, whether it's communicating with our investors, right? Whether it's marketing, PR, working with our engineering team, kind of figuring out go-to-market strategies, trying different marketing initiatives. It's kind of, you've got to wear a lot of different hats in this. What's fortunate, and I'm really fortunate, is that our team is killer. I've mentioned it a couple times now. It's definitely not a one or two man show. Everyone firmly believes in the vision of Fetii, what we can achieve, all the good that we're doing, right? We've removed hundreds of thousands of vehicles already, just because of the amount of trips we've transported.
Nice.
We're creating good memories. We're stopping people from driving and drinking, right? So we're doing a lot of good, and that's kind of the mission that we believe in. And everyone, when they come together, I don't think anything we can't do. So it's really just ensuring that the company keeps moving, doing what I need to do, as well as everyone else doing what they need to do.
Very cool. And when it comes to like legalities, like, do you guys have is it like it's not illegal, but like, how does it work legally wise to like start this kind of a business, and is that different state for state? Like, can you just be like, I'm also going to do Fetii? Obviously it would be a successful, but like, could I just go out there and start doing a van rental service in an app? Like,
look, if you would ask me that 12 years ago, it'd be a very different answer versus now when Uber and Lyft have kind of paved the way.
Yeah.
Right, and so what they've done, and they've spent billions of dollars.
You're like, sweet, thanks guys.
Yeah, exactly. They've spent billions of dollars kind of revolutionizing what transportation looks like, which has kind of led the path for us. Now, it doesn't go to say, just like with any company, there's going to be things that we need to approach state by state, or when we go international.
Yeah.
Right. Which will come to that, but fortunately, it's the kind of, in terms of regulations and policy wise, a lot of it's been already kind of paved.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And when it comes for you guys, when you guys are out there pitching, how much have you guys raised so far? And then how much have you raised so far? are you raising now? And then what is the kind of like the pitch that you give to investors? Like you're going to change transportation or you're changing group or like what is the pitch?
Yeah, well, I won't say the total amount that we've raised.
Fair enough.
I like and in terms of kind of what we say to investors is, fortunately, as I said, we're not at the mercy of capital markets. So taking any money and just taking what we call in the industry dumb money, right? This is no value add money. It's just capital. We're not in a position where we need to do that, right? So it's looking for those strategic investors that can really provide value add, whether it be now or in the future.
And is that more like an angel, like a VC, or like kind of combination of both?
Combination of both. You know, we've had some great angels that have, you know, provided a lot of value add and you know, for example, Y Combinator has done phenomenal in terms of helping us and positioning.
Are you with them right now? Or?
Yeah, we're with them. We were in the summer 2022 batch. So
very
currently
cool.
with them.
Nice, dude. Very cool. Nice.
And so the demo day, I think by the time this airs, demo day will have happened.
Nice.
So that's the amount of, you know, effort they've given to us is significant. They put us in contact. I've spoken with. They put us in contact with the founders of Airbnb, right? Founder of Coinbase, because all these. Y Combinator was the investor not only in Fetii but in Instacart, right? DoorDash, which are deliveries. Coinbase, Stripe, Dropbox.
Yeah, their contact book is endless.
Exactly. So they've been a lot of help, and they're great to work with. And so it's finding those strategic investors, because if that was just, for example, they invested $500,000. If that $500,000 was coming from just one person who was going to give us the money and just sit back, we wouldn't have taken it.
Exactly.
We don't need to. We don't need to dilute everyone. We don't need to add people to our cap table who essentially we don't need.
Gotcha.
Which I think is a lot of people, you know, should understand that whenever you see in the headlines, oh, this company raised this much amount of money, all I see is that, oh, this company's founders lost this much amount of equity.
Exactly.
You know, and so a lot of people like to associate the amount raised with success. When I think people should be, you know, should acknowledge that it's a big commitment to take, you know, large amounts of capital from people, and you've essentially now owed them you now owe to them that you need to do everything in regards to giving them a positive ROI for what their fund needs, when it may not be necessarily what's best for the company long term.
Yeah, exactly.
So just a lot of different pros and cons. But in terms of how we go to the investors, we tell them, look, we don't need your money. You know, this is what the company does. Tell us how you could help, right? And if there's a good fit, then we can discuss further.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Are you guys raising right now?
Not right now, but this will air after demo day. So we are going to start raising middle of September to help us push into the nationwide expansion. We're looking at a couple different markets, which include Nashville.
Okay, that's a very logical next step for Austin.
Nashville, yeah, they've got a big group scene. They've got Vanderbilt, Belmont, Broadway. It's a growing city. Phoenix is another attractive one for us, as well as just larger markets like LA, San Francisco, a lot of good ones. But essentially, it's just keep on growing, keep on you know, providing this service to customers around the world, and keep on aiming to achieve that vision that I mentioned of where every urban city is utilizing Fetii primarily for all their modes of transportation.
That's awesome, man. And I'm not going to say anything, but like this podcast has only been live for the month of August, and we've already had one of our episodes have 2 VCs reach out to invest.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, I'm just saying, dude.
Yeah.
We don't get insane viewership.
So what, you want the finder's fee?
No, I'm just saying. I should have the finder's fee for the other one. But no, we don't have tons of views yet, but the views we have are pretty quality people, I will say.
Well, look, I'll tell you this, Corey. You've done a spectacular job of kind of making your mark in the Austin scene. Because when did you move here?
Like a year and a half ago.
A year and a half ago, and now everyone in the startup scene knows your name.
I'm doing my best,
incredible.
dude. I'd say everyone in the startup scene, like pre-Series A, knows my name.
Yeah,
I'm trying to. Where are you Series C founders at? Let's talk. Where are you? They're hiding in the cracks of Austin.
I know.
But yeah, I appreciate it, man. I mean, I'm just trying to network and grow my,
No, it's been great. Yeah.
You guys are always welcome at all my events and everything.
Appreciate it.
So one thing I was going to ask about in regards to the fundraise. So you're going to have all this money ideally and like keep growing. At any point, does it make sense to own the fleet of vehicles?
Good question. And something that we have thought about. It's very capital intensive.
It's a big headache. Is it worth the headache? Like price wise? Yeah.
Right now it's not.
Yeah. Oh, for sure not. Yeah.
But like I said, you ask me in 5, 10, 15 years.
Exactly.
Things change. So is it out of the question? No. Right now we do see ourselves primarily sticking to the fact that we're a technology platform.
Yeah.
That partners with these fleet owners and gives them the ability to utilize and to maximize the utilization of their 15 passenger transit vans.
Yeah, they're probably pumped.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
they're like, thank God we were going out of business.
The growth that we've given to our PSPs. I mean, these are solid cash flow businesses that they're making. Providing these vehicles to our franchisers, to our drivers, and we've got a lot of PSPs just putting in orders for new ones. Just keep on growing their fleets.
So cool.
And so we're really, we're not only giving opportunities, job opportunities to our kind of full-time Fetii team, but also to the PSPs who are entrepreneurs creating their own businesses, as well as the drivers who are also creating their own businesses. So it's kind of a really nice network where we're providing a lot of opportunities to a lot of people. And that's kind of the goal with a lot of companies. And with us, it's kind of, positively impacting the economy and making sure that a lot of people have these opportunities and a lot of people are happy with them.
Absolutely. And I hope we... I definitely enjoy the experience. I hope we have some videos that you guys have. I'm sure you guys have videos of like the experience happening, and I would love to see early photos of your guys' first vans if you have those.
Yeah,
put them up on the. Let me know if you can find those.
Yeah, no, I can find them. And when we first launched, I'll send a picture. When we first launched in Austin, what we did is we partnered with a rental company.
Okay.
Called Caps, and we would just rent out their vehicles. Probably like 5, 6, 7 of them when we first started, and just utilize those. Had drivers go in them. So
did it say Caps on it or what?
No, it didn't say Caps. We would buy stickers and just throw on Fetii on them.
Nice.
And so I've got a picture that I'll find where I'm in the parking lot of Caps. It might have been the first day of the Austin launch.
Yes.
So we can plug that in.
So amazing.
And then maybe I'll try and find some early on pictures where we were using those shuttle buses in College Station.
So if you have a picture of you as a baby with like a van toy, that'd be cool too.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Ever since he was 3 years old, he knew that he would change group transportation.
So amazing, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
So last question here. Where is make sure this freaking audio is still, and we're good. Where is Fetii going next? Like what's your guys' next move? Or never let them know your next move, maybe. I don't know.
No, I mean, look, the next move is essentially keep on going towards a vision of every urban city. And so what that looks like is growing our presence in Austin.
Okay.
There's still so much growth left to do in Austin.
Oh, yeah, you guys will keep. More people will find out.
Right, we've just touched. And as I mentioned, we're just now getting... Everything has been word of mouth and organic growth. Now we're putting capital into different marketing initiatives to determine the customer acquisition cost for these initiatives, what the ROI looks like, how much capital we should put into them, so that whenever we go into these other cities, we already have the data
the blueprint. Yep.
Exactly. Yep. And so already we've got a good playbook that we got from College Station, Lubbock, and Austin of kind of how to enter that go-to-market strategy. Primarily starting with these hubs of 20 to 30,000 customers, college, university hubs.
Like hubs, like kind of surrounding the.
Exactly.
You're kind of like attacking from all sides.
Exactly. So we attack these hubs very efficiently with that free account upgrade that you mentioned. And now we're kind of implementing these different strategies to know how to attack kind of the broader market, which is, for example, groups like us who go out and everything of that sort, whether it's going to the lake, co-working events, offsite corporate events. And with that blueprint, now we can go into these new cities and look, this is what we did here. Some things are going to have to be tweaked for certain cities logistically, how they're set up. But this is kind of the blueprint, and this is how we scale.
So cool.
And I think that's important because, we're not just taking a whole bunch of capital and just letting it out. We're sticking to our foundation and knowing this is the capital we have. This is how we use it. This is what it'll generate. And from that, which we haven't even discussed, we're able to be profitable in a market within 3 to 3.5 months.
Damn.
Right, just with that current blueprint that we have.
Very cool.
And so it's just repeating that and keep on growing.
So cool.
Yeah.
Dude, Fetii, man. It's a pleasure.
It's appreciated. Yeah, it's a pleasure, Corey.
Dude, it's so fun. That's why we strive, guys. There we go.
That's why we strive.
There you go. I wanted to thank you for watching this entire episode of Why We Strive. Be sure you head to whywestrive.com and subscribe so every Tuesday you can see incredible interviews with some of the best tech founders, investors, and creatives in the industry. Have an amazing day, And don't forget to keep striving.